What were you doing at 30 years old? Because by the age of 30, Alexander the Great had conquered most of the known world. Born in 356 BC in the kingdom of Macedon, Alexander was not born into weakness, he was born into ambition. His father was King Philip II, a brilliant military leader. But Alexander dreamed bigger. He didn't just want to rule a kingdom, he wanted to rule the world. Alexander's education was unlike any other prince. His teacher was none other than the great philosopher Aristotle. From philosophy to science, from medicine to politics, Alexander absorbed knowledge like a sponge. But he was not just a thinker. At just 16 years old, he was left in charge of the kingdom. When rebels rose against him, he crushed them without hesitation. This was no ordinary prince. This was a future conqueror. In 336 BC, tragedy struck. King Philip II was assassinated. At just 20 years old, Alexander became king. Many thought he was too young. They were wrong. He immediately secured his power and turned his eyes toward the greatest empire of the time, Persia. The Persian Empire was massive, but Alexander was fearless. And the invasion had begun. The first major clash came at the Battle of Granicus. Alexander led from the front, risking his own life in battle. Then came the legendary Battle of Issus. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander defeated King Darius III of Persia. Darius fled. The world was stunned. City after city fell before him. Egypt welcomed him as a liberator. And there, he founded a city that would carry his name, Alexandria. In 331 BC, at the Battle of Gaugamela, Alexander faced Darius once again. This was the final showdown. Darius had a larger army, war elephants, chariots, but Alexander used strategy and precision. He broke through the Persian lines. Darius fled again. This time, the Persian Empire collapsed. Alexander was now the ruler of the most powerful empire on earth. But he was not satisfied. He wanted more. Alexander marched further east, into Central Asia and India. His army was exhausted. They had marched thousands of miles. At the Battle of the Hydaspes River, he faced King Porus of India. Even after victory, Alexander respected Porus and allowed him to remain king. But his soldiers had reached their limit. They refused to go further. For the first time, Alexander had to turn back. In 323 BC, in the city of Babylon, Alexander fell mysteriously ill. He was just 32 years old. Within days, he was dead. No clear heir. No clear successor. His empire was divided among his generals. But his legacy lived on. Greek culture spread across 3 continents. History would remember him as Alexander the Great, the king who chased immortality and found it through legend. If you enjoy powerful true history stories like this, subscribe to Histo Official and explore history in a whole new way. Who should we cover next?